have confirmed reports that Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords, you see her there up on the screen, a Democrat of Tucson, has been shot outside an event at a Tucson supermarket. It's unclear what her condition is, but the reports are that the shooting took place a short time ago during an event called Congress on Your Corner. That's a bystander approached her and several other people who were in the area and started firing. We do know that in addition to the Congresswoman, there were several others.
We need to put the guns down. Just as importantly, we need to put the gun metaphors away and permanently. Left, right, middle, politicians and citizens, sane and insane. It is essential tonight not to demand revenge, but to demand justice, to insist not upon payback against those politicians and commentators who have so irresponsibly brought us to this time of domestic terrorism, but to work to change the minds of them and their supporters. Or if those minds tonight are too closed, or if those minds tonight are too unmoved, or if those minds tonight are too triumphant, to make sure by peaceful means that those politicians and commentators and supporters have no further place in our system of government. At his news conference this evening, Pima County Sheriff Clarence Dupnick took the extraordinary step of reporting not details of the crime scene alone, but rather of the political and cultural climate. I think it's time as a country we need to do a little soul searching, because I think that the vitriolic rhetoric that we hear day in and day out from the people in the radio business and some people in the TV business, and what we see on TV and how our youngsters are being raised, it may be free speech, but it does not come without consequences. Arizona has become the mecca of prejudice and bigotry.
When you look at unbalanced people, how they are, how they respond to the vitriol that comes out of certain mouths about tearing down the government, the anger, the hatred, the bigotry that goes on in this country is getting to be outrageous.
If Sarah Palin, whose website put and today scrubbed bullseye targets on 20 representatives, including Gabby Giffords, does not repudiate her own part, however tangential, in amplifying violence and violent imagery in American politics, she must be dismissed from politics. She must be repudiated by the members of her own party. And if they fail to do so, each one of them must be judged to have silently defended this tactic that today proved so awfully foretelling. And they must in turn be dismissed by the responsible members of their own party.
The graphic is just, it's basic. We never, ever intended it to be gun sites. It was simply crosshairs like you'd see on maps.
Well, it's a surveyor symbol. Rebecca.
A surveyor symbol.
Yeah.
And no, but I just want to say this, Tammy, if I can.
Please.
You know, this graphic was done, it was done not even in-house. We had a professional who does a political graphics artist, consultant do this for us. So we saw it really quickly. We said, yeah, that's fine, that's great. And we had never even imagined or occurred to us that anybody would interpret it as violent, because it's not.
If the Tea Party leaders who took out of context a Jefferson quote about blood and tyranny and the tree of liberty do not understand tonight, now, what that really means, and these leaders do not tell their followers to abhor violence and all threat of violence, then those Tea Party leaders must be repudiated by the Republican Party.
The sign didn't say anything about blood.
What did it say?
It's time to water the tree of liberty.
And where did that come from, that line?
It's a quote from Thomas Jefferson.
And what's the rest of the line?
No, the rest of the line is for people to look up. It's not a soundbite. They need to understand the context.
What's the rest of the line from Jefferson?
The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of tyrants and patriots.
Okay, well, you're carrying a gun and you're carrying that sign, and
right.
You don't think people should worry about you?
No, I don't think people should worry about me.
If Glenn Beck, who obsesses nearly as strangely as this Mr. Loughner did about gold and debt, and who wistfully joked about killing Michael Moore.
Hang on, let me just tell you what I'm thinking. I'm thinking about killing Michael Moore. And I'm wondering if I could kill him myself or if I would need to hire somebody to do it. Oh, I think I could. I think he could be looking me in the eye, and I could just be choking the life out. Is this wrong? I stopped wearing my What Would Jesus band do, and I've lost the whole sense of right and wrong now. I used to be able to say, yeah, I'd kill Michael Moore, and then I'd see the little band, What Would Jesus do? And then I'd realize, oh, he wouldn't kill Michael Moore. At least he wouldn't choke him to death, and, you know.
And Bill O'Reilly, who blithely repeated Tiller the Killer until the phrase was burned into the minds of his viewers.
The accusers object to my using the term Tiller the Baby Killer, which was the doctor's well-known nickname, which is in context because the state of Kansas has produced compelling evidence that Tiller sometimes terminated viable fetuses for trivial reasons, and the process was brutal.
If they do not begin their next broadcasts with solemn apologies for ever turning to the death fantasies and the dreams of bloodlust, for ever having provided just the oxygen to those deep in madness to whom violence is an acceptable solution, then those commentators and the others must be repudiated by their viewers and listeners, by all politicians who would appear on their programs, including President Obama and his planned interview with Fox on Super Bowl Sunday, and repudiated by the sponsors and by the networks that employ them. If all of these are not responsible for what happened in Tucson, they must now be responsible for doing everything they can to make certain Tucson does not happen again.